Welcome to the Business Spotlight Series. My name is Mary Ann Hauser, and I'm a master coach and the owner at Serendipity Action Coach of Central North Carolina. And today we are so lucky to have Robert Phelps of Creative IT here as my guest. Today we're going to be talking about his business, his journey to business ownership, some of his challenges, best practices, and share a sneak peek into what it's like to run an IT company. So if this is the first time you're on our channel, be sure to do all those things that you know I'm going to ask you to do. Hit like, hit subscribe, so that you get notifications when we drop new conversations just like this one. So Robert, welcome, and thank you for being here today.
Well, I really appreciate it, Mary, and thank you for having me.
My pleasure. So before we get started, I always like a brief overview. Generally speaking, give us an overview of your organization and what your key focus is.
Sure. Well, Creative IT was founded in 2012. What we provide our clients is a full IT department for their business, whether they need to augment their staff, whether they don't have an IT department and they need to drop that into their organization. We kind of fill the gamut. So everything an organization would need to be operationally efficient from an IT standpoint, we provide to them at a fraction of the cost of building it internally.
Yeah, boy, having that kind of resource on staff is really difficult. And I can't tell you how many clients I've had that said, well, we just let Charlie in ops take care of it. And boy, what a mess, Charlie.
It's a full-time job, and usually, fortunately, a lot of businesses throw half a person at it. Realistically, nowadays, with the cybersecurity threats that are going on, you realistically need at minimum 5 people, which that can get expensive rather quickly.
Absolutely. So, what does your current ownership structure look like? Are you the sole founder and owner, or are there outside investors?
Sure. So I am the sole owner, no outside investors. Started it myself in 2012, one person, and have grown it up to we are about 22 now in staff.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, so then what is the key role? Because chances are you're not climbing under desks, changing out, doing some of the things that your IT and your 22 people do. What is, as the owner, what is the role you currently play in the business?
Sure. So the main role that I play in the business is strategy. Every day coming in, leading the organization, what changes, what new things are we going to add to our portfolio of offerings to our clients? What are we going to roll out? How are we going to grow? And then it's really coaching each one of our teams, whether it's sales, whether it's marketing, whether it's the customer management team or our tech team that's servicing our clients. It's meeting with each one of the leads of each one of those teams, making sure we're on the right track, making sure holistically the company's taking care of our core values and our clients.
Love that you mentioned core values. It's amazing how many companies don't establish that right out of the gate. And so I'm so excited to hear you say that. So let's move on to what makes your business so special. First, who primarily does your business serve?
So we service companies, the organizations ranging anywhere from two employees, all the way up to we have clients in the 500 to 600 range. So we fill the gamut all in the small to medium sized business.
Wow. So I know what a 2 to 3 person company looks like. I run one, but I can't imagine outsourcing with 500 employees. I bet that's probably got teams of folks that handle those size companies.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, a company of that size, realistically, if they were to build an IT department, it's going to be around 1.2 to 1.5 million for the team as well as the tools. And then, of course, you have to build systems and processes around it. So outsourcing to a company like ours, $300,000 to $400,000 a year, it's a substantial savings, and the operations and tools and systems are already built.
Right. And it's probably better than what they could build on their own.
It depends on if they really want to manage an IT department, if that is what they want to build their core business around. And most of the times it's not. They just want to service their clients and build their operations around what they do best. And the IT just needs to work.
Very good. I agree. Boy, I was actually stuck in an airport during the global shutdown 2 weeks ago. And boy, did we have become so dependent on technology, and the slightest little glitch and business stops today. So having a resource like you would be fabulous. So there are lots of IT companies. What makes your business unique, and why do customers and clients choose you?
Yeah, I appreciate you asking. We really found our stride and our niche when the pandemic happened. So when the pandemic happened, all businesses were forced to go fully remote, and that caused a lot of challenges around the technology that companies then relied on to go remote. We actually met with all of our clients and found the number one struggle they had was onboarding, training, supporting, securing, and then offboarding staff. When they were all in the office, it was easy. Someone in front office could grab the computer, set it up, get it back when someone left. So it created this challenge. We actually focused on operational efficiency. So we actually built a platform we call the Employee Efficiency Engine. And what it does is it handles all the onboarding, all the offboarding, policies, procedures, training of your staff, knowledge base. So we built this software tool around it. And then we actually staffed up. We have a full logistics department. All they do all day is ship laptops, computers across the country. And then if someone leaves, they drop ship a box and get that computer back from that employee. We handle all of the setups. We did 1,400 setups last year. We have a full team dedicated just to helping clients do all of the onboarding, offboarding, not just the IT aspects, but paperwork, policies, procedures, training, all of that. So we've actually grown. We were about 4 people when the pandemic happened. We brought out the software, and we've grown over the past couple of years from 4 to 22, just purely because we're not providing just IT. We're providing an operational engine to the entire management of your staff from when they start with you to if they eventually leave the organization.
That's brilliant. Wow. I had no idea that IT companies were doing that level of involvement with their clients.
That's the funny thing, they're not. So, for example, we just met with a prospect. They interviewed 11 IT companies. We called them at the very last hour. They entertained it and said, "Look, you got to show us something that blows our socks off because we've interviewed 11. We're ready to make a decision." We went from 0 out of 11 to the number one choice out of 11. It's a tool we've built proprietary around what our clients and what we're seeing the industry need in the small business sector. And we're rapidly growing and getting new customers purely because of that operational efficiency that we're providing our clients. We had a company last year more than double in size, and we had a company that unfortunately shrunk, but we were able to handle about 70 employee terminations all at once and gathering all those resources from the remote staff. So we're able to help businesses scale and adapt.
Wow, that's awesome. So I always love talking to successful businesses like you to find out what you're doing from a marketing perspective. So what percentage of your monthly sales is typically invested back into your marketing budget?
So sales and marketing sort of we look at as one number, but it's usually overall, talking about annually, it's usually about 15 to 25% is all going into that sales and marketing outreach.
Wow, and at a business your size with 22 employees, that's a big investment. But as long as you're testing and measuring, you'll know what your return is and you'll decide if it makes sense. That's great. And about how many different marketing strategies do you think you're using?
So we are definitely tackling, the basic social media, email outreach. We do cold call outreach. And then we are this year dipping our toes into some video as well as some sponsorships at events.
Yeah, videos are awesome. And I'd love to talk to you offline about sponsorships and events too,
Sure.
because our client base could probably benefit from learning more about what you do. Um,
Right.
and what do you think is the number one marketing strategy that has brought you the most business?
That's a good question. Over the years, it's actually been cold outreach. So whether that's cold email or cold phone, we have a full-time, sales development representative that all they do is cold outreach all day long. And that's about 500 dials, 500 touches a week. And out of that, we usually get about, 3 to 5 appointments a week, new appointments with prospects.
Awesome. So we've spent a bit of time focusing on how you developed your business and some of your best practices. As you look back on your journey so far, what has been the most memorable roadblock or hurdle that you were challenged with that you were forced to overcome?
Sure. Early on in the business, I would say it's about 2014, we lost all but one staff member to somewhat of a competitive company that poached one of the employees and then poached a couple more. So that was basically a whole staff turnover. And when you're a services business and you rely on your staff, that can be tough. Um, Something that, really we doubled down and well, I doubled down at that point and what it meant to keep staff and to grow them and give them that capability internally, and really geared towards getting more sales so that we could empower and enrich those employees with different benefits and higher pay and things of that nature to make sure that people were really enjoying and happy in where they were. And in a service business, your people are the most important thing to the
Oh,
business. So taking care of them is most important to me.
I think in any business, the most important thing a leader can focus on is their team. And it's amazing how many people make the mistake of focusing on the customer before the team, because you can only grow so much unless you've got the right focus. You're the most important person in the company. The second most important people are your team. The
Right.
third most important people are your clients.
Yep.
And teaching that sometimes is eye-opening to some of these business owners. Um, so how did you overcome? You've kind of shared that you brought in better clientele. Did you bring in a higher level of client? How did you really get past? Because that's a hard one, that hurdle.
It was just going out and investing more in people and hiring and kind of putting the cart before the horse from a financial standpoint, and doing some investments to be able to afford paying basically a higher salary and doing some benefits for staff to bring in some people that would be longer term staff members.
Very good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So as we look forward, because we talked about the past and your hurdles and the things you've overcome, where do you see the business in the next 3 to 5 years?
So our goal is really to empower small businesses around their operations. What we've really found is that we work best with companies that are geared towards or focused on their operations. Because IT is a huge part of operations and operational efficiency of an organization, our goal is to help our clients with that operations. Just during a new client onboarding, we have a staff that they just focus on the onboarding and offboarding processes for a new client. So by allowing them to have those things standardized, they can do it much quicker, but it can make it more simplistic because if Joe's in charge of doing a certain portion of the onboarding and offboarding, we want all of that to be documented. So if Joe gets promoted or moves on, those things, you don't miss a beat inside that company. So our goal is to actually turn from being purely an IT company, which is sort of seen across the board. There's thousands of us out there, to a company that's really going to help our clients become operational efficient and scale and grow their business by helping them with their operations, not just fixing a computer issue when it happens. Although we certainly, excel at doing that for our clients.
Awesome, awesome. So what is your approach to goal setting, and how does your team hear about what the goals are? Because that's also a big gap that I see in businesses your size.
Yep. So we really focus on the whole entire team getting together on Fridays. We do a lunch every Friday. We order out. New employee gets to pick each week where we're going. We bring that food in, we sit down, we talk about everything that's going on inside the business, including goals, where we're going, where we're pivoting, what we're doing, and then issues that are coming up, things people want to talk about, problems they found or that they need to throw past the whole team, or solutions they found that the whole team should know about. So having the entire team together every Friday for a meal and sitting down and going through that, staff loves it. It's free food. I love it from the fact that we can all get on the same page every single week and talk about everything in a relaxed setting.
That's fabulous, because that sort of steps into what my next question was. And so if there's anything you'd like to add, I was going to say, how do you describe your leadership style in business? It sounds like it's based around community and listening, but is there anything you'd like to add to what your leadership style is that maybe another business owner could learn from you?
I think really what I value is throwing ideas at the wall and seeing what sticks. One of the things that I really love is, hey, here is a problem. Everybody put their 2 cents in. If you have an idea, let's try it. And anytime I have an idea, the way I approach it is, let me throw it out there to the entire team and everyone poke holes in it, because that's how it gets better. It's not because it's my idea, I'm the owner of the business. That's what we go with, and no one gets a word otherwise. It's let's come together, figure out what the problem is, throw every solution out there, try it, and see what problems happen, what problems can we think of, and then if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But it's been very successful so far in having a team collaborative effort, and everyone feels empowered and part of the decision-making process, which
Making them feel heard.
you got it.
So if we were to look at your team, what areas of training do you believe your people would need most in the next 6 months based on the current business clients and where your business is heading?
That's a good question. In our industry, technology changes every day. So keeping up to date with whatever the latest changes are that are going on is something we have to do constantly. A lot of that's learning on the go, unfortunately. Cybersecurity training is a huge part. That industry is changing rapidly. The threats are changing rapidly. Big thing for us is account management training. Always soft skill training. We're a service business. Soft skills are huge. Those are training elements from the account management and the soft skills that we could always improve on.
Awesome. So now as we wrap up, we call this the rapid fire section of our interview. I have 4 or 5 questions that I just need quick, impactful answers that other business owners are going to go, I get it, right? So what's the key to success for you?
Key to success is just always be looking forward for the next thing.
Awesome. And what is your one piece of advice, and maybe it's the same thing for other business owners?
Leverage as much knowledge that you can, whether that's peers, whether that's coaches, and most importantly, your team. Every piece of knowledge, every idea that comes out there, take it and mold it, and you'll find the best solution every time.
Awesome. What's one book you're either reading now or you've read most recently that you think is worth sharing?
Sure. Scaling Up is a great one. Currently rereading that book, and Scaling Up is just a great book for entrepreneurs and taking that challenge to the next level.
Very good. We'll make sure we put that in the text portion of this post. And if you had to choose one area of your business where if you had a magic wand and you could wave it over an area of your business that you could immediately improve tomorrow, what would it be?
Sales. Sales is the lifeblood of every business. I think if you have too much sales, then something's wrong in operations. I don't think you can ever have too many opportunities with new prospects and clients.
Awesome. And then before I ask you the final question, how can people get in touch with you? Is there social media sites or a direct message? What can you share with us where people can find out more about what you do and how they can hire you to help with their IT and operations?
Sure, you can go to creativeit.com, and my email address, if you want to reach out directly, is r.phelps, Phelps, like the swimmer, at creativeit.com.
Awesome. And we'll make sure we put that in text as well. So our final question before we wrap up is, what is bringing you the most inspiration today?
Very good question. I think what brings me the most inspiration is every time we've put something new out into a client base, the ideas that the clients come back with, the struggles that they have, we're always looking for creative ways to solve them, and hence our name. What really inspires me is every time we build something new and we see the way that it's utilized by our clients, because we build a lot of products that we utilize for all of our clients, and that's how we come up with better ideas. Seeing how they mold it, seeing how they use it, seeing how they shape it, and then the problems they come back with or the better ideas than we've ever come up with, they come back with, and the solutions that we can build to not just help that client, but hundreds of small businesses around the country.
Awesome. Okay, well, thank you so much for participating in the Business Spotlight interview. This was so informational for other business owners. I can't even think how many people are going to benefit from understanding that there's more to IT than just fixing your computer when it shuts down. And that's really important to me. So thank you so much, Robert. And again, if this is the first time you've listened to this channel, make sure that you hit like and subscribe. If you have any questions for Robert, put them in the comment section. We will make sure that we pass them on. And we hope to see you on the next episode of the Business Spotlight. Thank you and have a great day.